Okay.
Great. We're ready.
We're ready for round 2.
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to a
Canonically Good Hang.
A new podcast. This is our second episode.
Do they have a special word for second? Like they do like
The sequel.
penultimate? The sequel. This time it's personal.
Here we go again.
As if it was Canonically Good Hang, Canonically Good Hang. Here we go again.
Welcome to Canonically Good Hang,
Canonically Good Hang. Here we go again. Episode 2. I'm really proud of us. It's giving follow through.
It really is. It's really
giving
is.
We're committed to the bit and also to this podcast.
Here we are. Welcome back. We're glad that you came back.
Yeah.
If this is your first listen, please go back to the first one or don't.
After you're done listening to this one, because I think they're both going to be good.
They're both going to be good.
I feel good about that.
But we did a whole intro section in the first one.
It might be helpful for
introducing ourselves.
For lore.
For the lore.
Mm-hmm.
For the lore of it all.
Yeah, for exposition.
We love exposition.
I really do.
Well, so as the title says, this episode we are talking about Mirror Mirror. The oh shoot, I didn't even look up the 2012 hit movie. I loved it. It was,
in your opinion, the best Snow White adaptation.
Yes, you heard it here. My favorite Snow White adaptation. Which
is kind of a big deal, I feel like.
I think so.
I mean, there's been a couple. It's not nearly as adapted as Cinderella.
No, it isn't.
But there have been a few. So,
yeah, absolutely. But this one, I think it balances comedy and it while staying true to the original characters, and also gives a really nice update for modern audiences.
Yes, I would agree. with that. Do we need to cover housekeeping before we get into the meat of it?
We have some important housekeeping things.
As always, every week.
As always. Yeah. Okay.
Three key things.
I went first, but I also don't remember the questions.
The first one is a fun fact.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
So it's Maddie's turn to go first.
It is.
With a fun fact.
And I have to look it up because I know what fun fact, but I want to make sure. I want to make sure I get it right. Okay. So my fun fact today is about birthday candles, which was inspired by the fact that we were watching Mirror Mirror. And she blows out a birthday candle.
Oh, yes, she does.
And you were like, I wonder where that comes from. And I was like, I remember. And I do now that I refreshed my memory. So the fact that I remembered about birthday candles in particular is that it was an opportunity to protect children from the evil spirits attempting to steal their souls. So you would blow out the candle.
And there were so many back then.
Yeah, there was
in the way back.
You know what? We've really lost the old world traditions.
Take me back to a simpler time
where evil spirits were attempting to steal my soul, and my birthday was the one opportunity I had to ward myself against them for the coming year. According to other articles, I'm going to share some fun facts that I've just recently learned. Recently being in the last 30 seconds.
She's an on the go researcher.
I really am, though, aren't I? Just that apparently there is potentially a connection to Artemis in ancient Greece, that Greeks would use candles to honor the goddess Artemis' birth on the 6th day of every lunar month. Girlie got a birthday 12 times a year.
She was born 12 times every single year.
Well, she had an oversight to fertility, even so it wasn't just Hera, because Hera was motherhood, marriage, and then Artemis fertility, which is so funny.
It is ironic.
Girlie was a perpetual virgin. In Percy Jackson context, it's giving lesbian, but so she starts a no boys club.
Yeah, I know. I was not disagreeing with you. It was a knowing look to the camera.
Sorry, the knowing look is usually directed at me.
I know, usually it is. But now we have an audience. Let them in.
Let them in. Let them in, bestie.
They knock. Will you answer the door?
It's not Jesus. It's the audience.
It's the audience.
Wanting to be part of this, she says, gesturing.
Part of your world.
Jesus would be an Ariel stan, I think.
I think so, too. He loves the human experience.
So much so that he turns himself into a human being. Ariel is a Jesus figure. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
That was really beautiful.
I was tender.
Crying. Mostly because I'm laughing so hard. So that's my fun fact that I remembered and then learned more about.
Yay. Okay, my fun fact is a lot shorter, and it comes from the fact that we just watched Revenge of the Sith this weekend. And it is that Natalie Portman, during Attack of the Clones, was studying because she was at the same time attending school at Harvard, which I think is so cool. Ugh.
I think about being pretty and smart and talented at the same time.
Yes.
I'm just like, wow.
And then having all of those opportunities
And
all
getting
at
to
once,
kiss Hayden Christensen.
really.
It's hard. You know what? I'm mad that something good happened to you. It should have happened to me instead.
Very jealous. Oh, that's badass.
It really is.
I love that.
Yeah. It's just, oh, God, she's so impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
It's unfortunate that George Lucas did her so dirty because, for the record, this was my first time seeing Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I was incandescent with rage at the end.
Can attest.
I was so angry. I was yelling. Not necessarily. I was forcefully vocalizing.
It was because the reason that she dies is
I'm sorry,
they say it's because of a broken heart. When, not but 5 minutes earlier, her husband choked her out.
Yeah. Not consensually.
Not consensually.
I'm sorry. You know what? We might do an episode on this, so I'll save my thoughts for later. But just know, George Lucas, you're on my list of people I would fight in a Wendy's parking lot. Some spots after Brigham Young, but you're on there. All right. Second item of housekeeping. She says nonchalantly.
Bring it back.
Is what Taylor Swift song you've been obsessed with this week?
Oh, yes. Loading.
Do you want me to go first again?
Yes.
Yeah. So my Taylor Swift song this week is actually a Taylor Swift song.
A bold departure
Bold
from
departure from last
tradition.
week. You can count episode 1 as tradition. I've been in a Lover mood. I want to state for the record that I am not like other girls in the way that I knew all along that Lover was a deeply depressing album, hiding in plain sight as a candy pop album, and that if you're looking for the true romantic album, that is Reputation.
Yeah.
That being said,
Girlies who get it.
they do.
This girly gets it.
I always have about this in particular. I won't say about everything. That's very clear.
High
but-
90s.
High 90s.
High 90s.
But yeah, Lover in particular, and the song is I Think He Knows. Because one thing I love about Taylor is that track 5 on any given album is going to be so heavy hitting. It is going to like tear you limb from limb. It is going to flay you open so that your inside thoughts and feelings are just exposed to the elements. And then track 6 is there, and it's almost always a bop. It's the way that All Too Well is followed by 22.
Yeah.
And the same way that The Archer is followed by I Think He Knows. So yeah, I love it. And also it's one of the first songs in Taylor's discography where she is clearly in the driver's seat, which I really stand.
Ooh.
So
we love maturity.
yeah, and we love a girl behind the wheel even if she doesn't know how to drive. And that was about me specifically. I would say I drive most often.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm
you
mediocre at best.
But how many car crashes have you been in since I've known you?
Zero.
Zero.
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. It's
giving-
causative.
It's giving you
Causation, not correlation.
big
Big
if true.
is true.
Big is true. I was about to like tearfully say you've changed my life in regards to my driving.
What stopped you?
I don't know. Okay. My Taylor Swift song for the week is I Think He Knows.
I love that.
Sentence.
I still haven't remembered even the name. Hang on.
Album?
Album. The album
Debut.
is Debut,
It's
and the song is
The Outside, isn't it?
The Out. Okay, great. We're gonna start over. Okay, the Taylor Swift song that I have been obsessed with this week is from Debut, self-titled Taylor Swift,
Mm-hmm.
and it is called The Outside, and I just really like it. It's introspective and also warm and comforting at the same time as sort of complainy.
It's the way that sometimes, I don't know about if this is true for you, but like my inner voice is my 11-year-old self.
Yeah.
And The Outside feels very much like that.
Yeah, it does. It does. It definitely does. Yeah, as somebody who grew up not feeling very much a part of things, I very much relate to that song, and it gives me nice warm feelings. I love it.
It's deeply tender.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I just died when she sang it live as one of her surprise songs for the Eras tour.
It's just,
It hits so deep to
More
hear
mature
it, more
voice.
mature voice, and then acoustic.
What a tender thing to get to revisit the art you made when you were a young teenager.
Yeah.
With the passion, talent, and retrospection that really you can only get with age.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
That's a gift. I'm really thrilled for her. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And might I just say, I think it's her countryest album.
Yeah, you heard it here. Her countryest album. Love me some twang.
Even if it's fake. Especially when it's fake.
Especially if it's fake. The fact that one day she just dropped it.
Yeah.
No question.
No.
Like, that's just it.
There will only be debut. Taylor, hire me for your marketing. I'd be very good.
Oh.
Okay, our last item of housekeeping is a meme that's really spoken to us this week. I'm going to let you think about this for a hot second because I already have a thought.
Great, go ahead.
And it also stems from, again, seeing Revenge of the Sith for the first time. I had a bit of a meltdown because I was very excited to see Revenge of the Sith, mainly because I was thrilled that I would get to see the memes in context. And it turns out that the memes are only funny because they were taken out of context.
Yes.
Which I guess makes sense, knowing what I know about memes. That being said, I was a little bit ashamed as the lights came up in this movie theater. I yearned to hide myself from the face of God because I had ever laughed at a meme about Anakin killing younglings. But that's not the meme I want to talk about today. The meme I want to talk about today involves General Grievous and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because General Grievous is just like me. When Obi-Wan shows up and demands a fight, he immediately gets naked. That's the meme I've been thinking about since I saw it. I too would unclip my cape should Ewan McGregor arrive in Jedi garb.
Hello there.
Also, he was so much more Spider-esque than I thought.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I looked over in the theater. After two of my friends who are very much not spider people went, ah! It was great. It was great.
I'm a daughter of Athena. What can I say? those little gremlins.
The other one was also
a daughter of Athena.
I was like, yeah, typecast.
Yeah.
Okay, I
for
see
reals.
it. I see it.
So yeah, that's the meme I've been thinking about.
Okay. My meme that I've been thinking about also comes from Revenge of the Sith. And it's when picture this.
I'm picturing
a hot dog, perfectly cooked. The hot dog has a voiceover saying, "You are the chosen ones. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them." And then on the ground, in the fire, in the literal fire, burnt to a crisp, is a hot dog saying, "I hate you." Maddie sent it to me this week, and I'm like, I've seen that meme in so many iterations throughout the years.
I think it was always meant to be a hot dog, though.
I think it was always meant to be a hot dog. I've seen it as a marshmallow, and actually, I think that's kind of it. But
out of all the camping foods,
marshmallow or hot dog, tag yourself.
Marshmallow with a hot dog rising.
You know what? To shock everyone, I'm gonna say hot dog with marshmallow rising.
Oh my goodness, it's giving complimentary pair.
Both burned to a crisp.
Crunchy on the outside, but a little squishy on the inside.
Squishy on the inside.
With a good solid snap. If you bit into me, it'd be crunch then squish. Okay. Housekeeping done and dusted?
We've done our due diligence.
Well done. I had no emotional response to what happened this week.
None whatsoever. Okay, so on to the body of our segment.
Mm-hmm.
The feature presentation, as it were.
Ooh.
Talking about Mirror, Mirror. This film It is so integral to my teenagerhood.
Because let's see,
I
how
guess.
old were you when it came out?
I was 14 turning 15, I think.
Yeah, that's like a pretty
Yeah.
foundational time.
Yeah, I grew up, you know, watching a lot of Disney 90s movies.
The Renaissance, really.
The Disney
You were born
Renaissance period.
in a good era.
A new and exciting era.
Yeah. Oh, there it was.
There it was. And I always loved watching the female characters just kick ass and be like so cool and be the main characters. And I was like, she's so cool. I want to be just like her. And I am talking about Belle. I'm talking about, yes, Ariel. I'm talking about Pocahontas. I'm talking about Esmeralda. I'm talking about Meg, and I'm talking about Mulan, and
Jasmine too.
And, Jasmine,
because the thing
she's
is, like,
the one I forgot. Man,
no, but you're good.
Absolutely,
but
yes.
About, like her story is like it's Aladdin story, yes, but like Jasmine is just as big a presence in the narrative, which is so cool. Yeah.
And I mean, she even says herself, like, she respects herself so much that she's not going to let these men treat her like a prize.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching these strong women characters presented in all of my media pretty much. And so then I had been frustrated that people kept saying that all of these characters were not strong female characters.
Yeah, because really in the kind of movement of third wave feminism, we started exploring female driven narratives and getting frustrated that they were like always rooted in romance and that they exhibited traditionally feminine traits, which I think caused us as a culture to swing the pendulum so far to the other side that all of our popular female heroines who came out of the mid 2000s to really like the mid 2010s were really focused on exhibiting traditionally masculine traits in an effort to make them interesting, powerful, and worth rooting for. I'm thinking about like Katniss Everdeen in particular, which again, I was like, I think she's a great female heroine. And also like she eschews any sort of feminine stylings, feminine traits and habits out of necessity in a lot of cases. It became a trend that I think was a little bit difficult to escape. And then it became also a lens through which we viewed all sorts of past media as well. Like we weren't allowed, the media from our childhood wasn't allowed to stand on its own anymore because it didn't measure up to the like present standards of what it meant to be a strong female character.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then so then in 2012, when Mirror Mirror came out, and you see this retelling of Snow White, where Snow White starts and yes, she is timid, but she's very solid in what her moral compass is, and she's very solid in what she believes in. She is encouraged by a female mentor to go out into the world and to see for herself what her wicked stepmother has done. And then she comes back and says, it's horrible. Like this doesn't make any sense. What has happened? And it's so much worse than I had imagined. And her mentor says, hey, there's this prince dude who showed up. And she doesn't give Snow White the answer. She allows her to stand on her own. And Snow White says, a prince? Well, maybe he can help us. If he has an army, then if we can get him on our side, then we can right this wrong. And I just think that sort of thinking and that sort of power happens the entire plot. And she uses her wit and also her gentleness to think through problems and to solve them and to really.
Her strength is her ability to recognize her resources and then figure out how to use them. And her resources often come in the form of other people, right?
Yeah.
And not that she's using them, but like leveraging their strengths along with her own in order to solve the problems that she has to fix. But yeah, and I like what you said too about her gentleness, right?
Yeah.
Because I think from the very first instance that we meet her when she's, talking to this tiny little bird, I was like, first of all, can I quick aside? She fed this little bird an apple seed. And I was like, do you know how much arsenic is in there? Is that going to kill the bird? It didn't.
Birds eat apple seeds.
Do they?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Maybe they're just like, I don't know, you'd have to eat a lot of less seeds if you're a bird because their bodies are so tiny. But yeah. I digress.
And different, I don't know if this is true with apple seeds, but a lot of plants and birds they're like go
able to digest them differently.
Yes, because they both evolved to be digested by the bird.
Yeah.
By a specific bird.
It's giving a symbiotic relationship.
Yep.
But yeah, it's rooted in her gentleness, in her kindness. It takes effort for her to learn how to be aggressive, which also doesn't mean it's like a bad trait, but it's...
No, and she also does learn how to be aggressive and uses it.
Yeah. I had never seen this movie before until like a year and a half ago.
Something like that.
And I mean, I'm always partial to retellings of Snow White because...
Why? Just look at her.
Because I'm a clear winter. And I've been told my whole life that I look like Snow White. And I used to get really frustrated by that because I was only looking at the original story of Snow White, the 1937 version, the Disney version, through like a more modern lens. And I was like, she is weak and extremely feminine and waits for somebody to rescue her, et cetera, right? So I was kind of desperate for a retelling so I could like see myself literally in a character that was more interesting and more forceful. And this came out like right around the same time that Once Upon a Time also debuted.
Oh yeah.
So we had a lot of Snow White in the cultural zeitgeist, so to speak. But yeah, I had never seen this until a couple of years ago. But I can totally see why this was something that really spoke to you.
Yeah.
It is, first of all, like aesthetically very beautiful.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the aesthetics. Oh my God, the costumes are stunning.
It is such a like textural film.
Yes.
I think in retelling of fairy tales, it can sometimes tend towards this kind of mythical, like blurred around the edges kind of motif because it's supposed to be out of our grasp a little bit, right? If it's a fairy tale. But in the same way that like Star Wars, bringing it back, is a kind of lived in futuristic sci-fi world. It's a world that has like grit and grime. Mirror Mirror is like a fairy tale that has texture to it. So you can see it in the costumes. The fabric moves in like human ways. I don't know how to explain. It's not like CGI or altered to look or flow in ways that are impossible.
And they
like
also
they're
decided to use really structured fabrics as well, as opposed to a lot of live action fairy tales tend towards more satiny, flowy organza, and this retelling used a lot of structured garments. So it's
they held
things
their own.
that our modern eyes are more used to.
Yes.
Seeing in regular outfits.
It was an easier transition. And also it required your eye to focus on it because again, there were angles and shapes that were unfamiliar for like a fairy tale setting.
Yeah.
And then also just the way that they built the sets. It was reminiscent to me of Wicked in the way that they had, again, like, of course we know they used CGI, but there were most of the time they had set up these sets, these rooms, these places in the film that were that like you could feel from as a viewer like what it would have been to like run your hands across a table or like pick up a staff, which I think that's the magic of really great fairy tale adaptions, is that there is still this element of whimsy. There's still this element of this isn't quite like our world, but it's also this feeling that I could reach out and touch it. If I just had an option of getting there, it would be very real. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
really love this movie, and I definitely gravitate towards films that feel lived in and things that feel textural.
Yeah.
And also I gravitate towards the comedy aspect as well.
Yes.
And what's interesting in this retelling is that the prince sort of functions as comedic relief. Even though he has all of the stereotypical features that you would ascribe to a prince, i.e. he's tall, charming, handsome, well-spoken.
Sparkling teeth.
Literally. But the way that they portray him, it's comedic in the way that he takes himself seriously. And it's not over the top. You don't think of him as a buffoon or as a fool. But all of the female characters in this film are so grounded that just this little bit of elevation to the prince's character gives him such a comedic edge. It
makes it easy to love him.
Yes,
you know,
it does.
I mean, first of all, it's Armie Hammer, and so you're right, quintessentially prince material.
Cannibalism set aside. We love allegations.
Alleged cannibalism.
Alleged cannibalism.
But yeah, you pointed out as we were watching that he is really like the only one that has these kind of like traditional cartoon-esque animations around him.
Yes.
The way that he like moves, the sound effects that he makes when he's like under a spell are so different from the
Yes.
like the magic and effects that are happening to everybody else. It doesn't necessarily feel out of place, but it's enough
it
to
doesn't.
note that it is like a different kind of magic that yeah, like you said, allows him to be comedic relief
Yes.
in a way that doesn't feel contrived either, which I think is really,
it doesn't.
really nice.
It's really interesting.
And perhaps that's because he's grounded in his genuine feelings in other places, right? I mean, this movie I think has definitely like the hallmark witty banter of the era in which it was produced.
Yes, absolutely.
And I say that with all sorts of affection because that's God, just look at me. You know, I love witty banter, but it lends it gives the because every fairy tale needs a little bit of silliness to it, you know.
Yes,
that's why it's a fairy tale.
I think so. Another thing that I very much appreciated about this film was the depiction of the seven dwarves and how incredibly fleshed out personality-wise each of the characters were.
Yeah.
They were so distinct, and they also functioned so well as a group, as an ensemble unit.
And it was a really fun take on the trope. Instead of like characteristics about what they do, it was like what they were interested in, right?
Yeah.
Is how they got their names and their focuses, which I think lends itself to them being more like fleshed out real characters.
And there's an element in this adaptation for the dwarves. They have this arc of redemption because the first time that you see them, they are bandits. And they're robbing you. They're seen robbing the prince, and then he comically ends up hanging upside down with his manservant in just his underwear.
I'm gonna be honest. I personally enjoyed that part.
Oh, I will be honest. I personally also enjoyed that part.
I'm looking disrespectfully.
Disrespectfully. But we first see the seven dwarves as bandits, and then Snow White comes to them and asks for a place to stay, and they begrudgingly grant her a place to stay. And then they go out and rob again, and this time they rob the queen's assistant, who went to collect the massive amount of taxes for the queen. And so this group robs them, brings back the spoils, and come back to find Snow White with the table laid out for dinner, and it smells delicious. And they're all like, wow, this was a good choice.
Yeah.
And then she asks them, wait, where did you get this gold? And she finds out that they stole it from the queen. And she says, no, you stole the people's money. These are taxes that were unfairly taken from the people, and they need to go back to the people. And then they tell her the story of how they were banished. And then she shows them another way by taking the money, running, taking it back to the people, and propping these seven new people that she befriended up as heroes, as vigilantes who
work in favor of the people.
Work in favor of the people, like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And then they see there can be more to life than just the lot that you're handed.
Yes. Okay, that's a question that I'd like to ask you about the role that like aesthetic and outward physical beauty plays in this film, because that's a critical piece of any Snow White adaptation, right? We want the queen is vain. The queen is vain. Snow White is beautiful, and in this case, they make this point that like everyone, you know, who is considered ugly by the queen is banished, and I thought that their take on like outward versus inner beauty was really clever because the titular character, the mirror.
I was like, Snow White? Wait, that's not the name of this film.
The titular character of the mirror is not like a separate magical third party that is typical in other Snow White retellings, right? You have this like this mirror that is another person, another entity that speaks truth.
Yes.
It is in fact like the deepest, most maybe like honest and vulnerable part of the queen herself that acts as the mirror who tells her the truth.
Yeah. And truths that she doesn't want to hear.
Yes, exactly. And so much of it is about like so much is focused on what the queen can do to preserve her beauty. And in some cases it's comical, right? But as someone who is approaching 30, who can see it on the horizon, so to speak, and who has been thinking about what it means to like, I don't look 20 anymore. How do you, I don't know, how do you balance that inner voice that tells you to think about what you look like, and in a way that like allows you to be honest while also being kind to yourself? Because
I don't think I have a balance.
which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing at this
No,
particular
yeah.
moment.
No.
I just, I don't know. I was struck by, I think in this rewatching for this episode, of the like lengths to which she will go to make herself feel beautiful, even though it's like, it's Julia Roberts. She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But like aesthetic plays such a role in the way that she governs. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but like I found it an interesting
I think so, yeah.
storyline.
Well, I suppose I can only really answer generally right now because I haven't thought very much about this specific question.
That's fine.
But I think it's the answer, I think, comes from Snow White in how she's not focused on her beauty. Her beauty just is. And which is not to say that that's a moral thing, of good or bad, but she's not focused on how she looks. She's focused on what she can control.
Yeah.
Which is saving her people and also her friends. You know? She's focused on serving her community and doing a job in a way that the queen never was. Everything that the queen did was to turn back on herself.
Yeah.
I think
would we root for her differently though if she wasn't pretty? If she wasn't Lily Collins pretty?
I don't know. I think that's an interesting conversation.
I don't have an answer. So
I don't think I have an answer either. Well, I don't know. I think that maybe we would root for her differently. But I don't know.
Yeah. I think the reason I'm thinking about this is because it's the queen's inner self that's telling her whether or not she's beautiful, right? I don't know. I just like, I find that we compared it to Taylor Swift's anti-hero music video.
Yes. It's the inner self looking over your shoulder and you could see them in the mirror. But in this case, it's kind of swapped.
Yes.
Where the queen's inner self is actually honest and Taylor's inner self is a lying.
Yeah. Rubber duck sound.
Rubber duck sound.
Yeah. I think what you said about her not focusing on her beauty, because I think about it, we never see her looking in a mirror ever. She doesn't have one in her bedroom. The only reflection that Snow gets of herself is through the eyes of other people, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the queen, the person who tells her how to act and who she is this like really ugly, unkind part of herself. Yeah. So I don't know. I think maybe there is something to be said about the way that they portray beauty, in the sense that to truly know who you are can only be found in community with other people through fulfilling a larger purpose outside of what you look like, as opposed to making decisions that are like only geared towards ensuring that your youth and power remain stable.
I mean it's a very interesting argument and conversation as well, because also we can't deny that beauty does matter.
Yes.
Because it's what people's first impressions are. But also, while I can acknowledge that beauty is important, it doesn't have a bearing on morality. Yeah. Being beautiful doesn't make you good. And being not beautiful doesn't make you bad.
Yes. And to me, I think that's like really the essence of
any Snow White story.
Yes, it has to be. Because really, when you think about it, perhaps more than any other fairy tale, it's rooted in aesthetics. It's rooted in what you look like. Yes. All the other villains and all the other fairy tales are seeking vengeance, not necessarily on the princess, but on, her parents or somebody close to her, or the villain is seeking their own kind of power. Yes. But in this case, it is truly rooted in beauty, in aesthetic, in outward appearances, and that as like a vestige for for power and goodness. And overwhelmingly, the story is like it's being kind that makes you beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also you see in any Snow White adaptation, both the Queen and Snow White are beautiful.
They are canonically they have to be.
Canonically, they have to
Like,
be.
and I think
Otherwise,
about,
you kind of lose the point.
yes, yeah, because I don't know. In most of the versions I look at, it's like they're just different kinds of beauty, right? They're women
Yeah.
at different ages in their
Yes.
and stages in their life. But it's this belief that somehow like the beauty we had as young people is somehow better and worth more than the beauty that comes with age.
Yeah. Oh, there was a. Okay, so I have this quote that I saw on Instagram, and I can't remember it, but I did send it to Madie, so she's going to summarize.
And so somebody was asking the question, as you get older, do you find people in your same kind of age group attractive? Like when you're 70, are you looking around at other 70-year-olds and being like, damn, they're hot?
Or are you looking back at like 20-year-olds and still being like, wow, that's the age.
That's the pinnacle of beauty.
That's the pinnacle.
I don't know if this was like a study that they did, but I
think it was just a woman
answering the question
who was like 74.
Yeah, and saying there is a certain kind of beauty that comes from seeing people who have lived a life that is full and rich and like deeply experienced. That there is a kind of beauty that can only be attained through age, because it's a body that has physically like seen and experienced things that young people have not. And with that knowledge and like lived in tactile experience, with that comes beauty. So yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's really beautiful. I've talked about this a couple of times with my mom, who didn't meet my dad until she was like 26. And she talks about like regretting the fact that he never knew her in college. And I sometimes get sad as well that like my like life partner won't have known me in these like really integral parts of my life. But there's also beauty in knowing that whoever he is, he was out there living his own life and having his own experiences just as I was. And so there's going to be a certain kind of beauty that gets seen and cherished whenever we do meet, because we've done this like growing and experience living even when we weren't together. So
yeah,
I don't know. I
think it really speaks to life experiences adding to beauty.
Yeah,
there's a Navajo saying or commandment or something, I don't know. It's I'd say it's probably a command from the holy people to walk in beauty, and there's a beauty path, but the beauty that they're talking about isn't aesthetic. It's a way of living that when you look back, you can be proud of the choices that you made and the love that you gave and the life that you built and the honor that you kept.
I love that. It's the idea that you look behind you and can see the path you've walked and you've somehow like grown flowers where your feet were.
That's a lovely image. I love that image. Man. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that those are all of my thoughts right now. I mean, I'm sure I have more, but
yeah, I'm really glad that you showed this to me. I think it's very red coded.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It is.
So to finish off this segment, our question for the person who didn't introduce the media, which character would you ask out on a date, and what kind of date, how would the date go?
Okay. I'm curious as to how.
I kind of have a guess.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah. I think it's going to be Half Pint. Did I get it right? Half Pint is one of the dwarves, and he's very charming, and is also very silly. He's the one who's always like flirting with Snow White. Oh, I'm so happy I got this right. She's laughing too hard. It's silent.
I really am quite touched, actually. You guessed right.
Yes.
Yes. My choice of date is Half Pint.
Yes. A gem.
He really is.
He really is.
Also, arms.
Yes.
Did we see the arms?
Yes.
I say we collectively.
Yes, we collectively. Go watch the movie and you'll see
his arms. Okay.
His arms.
So, the date is going to center around one of his favorite activities,
Which is?
drinking.
You know him so well.
Yeah. So I arrive and I imagine that we've driven separately because he lives in the mountains and I am still a city girl because I can't live anywhere that's more than 25 minutes away from a Madewell. And so we meet. We're gonna go downtown. And I am dressed cottagecore style.
Cottagecore. I bet he'd be into that.
I think so too. Like a cute little sundress, you know?
Yeah.
Girlies who get it. And the guys who
Also get it.
And I think we start the day with brunch. That has
Start the day with brunch.
Yeah, start the day with
How long
brunch.
this is going.
Oh, it's a long date.
Oh,
I'll say.
okay.
Yeah, he
okay.
doesn't strike me as a mimosa person, but more of like Bailey's in his coffee kind of drinking. So someplace that offers him that.
Maybe not even Bailey's, just whiskey.
Just whiskey. And so we start with brunch. Drinks, of course. And then we take a stroll through a park because, again, he loves the outdoors and it's going to give him a chance to admire me in a sundress and to give a couple for 30 comments about me in a sundress.
Honestly, it's the best backdrop.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really shows you off.
I think. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The sundress or the park.
Yes. Both, obviously.
And then as we draw into this is, we've done brunch, we've done a walk. We're now ready for an late afternoon into early evening bar crawl. So we hop around to the bars downtown, try out all their signature beverages as well as a signature snack. I am downing pretzels, both the crunchy and soft variety, chips, fries, etc. And then we finish at a brewery where we have a beer flight because I am a beer girly. I'm admitting on this podcast that I drink alcohol occasionally.
Oops.
Nice. And so we go someplace, a local brewery where we get to try a bunch of different beers filled with like delicious pub fare. And then
sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And I think he'd really enjoy that.
I think so too. And then to take inspiration from your date last week, we're gonna go back to his cabin in the mountains and stargaze.
Oh.
Yeah. How I get home, I don't know, but
Is that like important?
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'd really like that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You think the wooing would work?
I think it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Consider that a success. Again,
Success.
the fact that you guessed half pint.
Oh.
That you knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm nothing if not predictable. And you know what? Thank God for that.
Thank God for that. For what it's worth, my choice was Wolf.
Yeah. Here's the thing, because Wolf, I could see you going for Armie Hammer as well.
Oh, yeah.
So,
same.
but I don't know.
But like,
You seem in this, Wolf seems like a good
but like
choice for
Armie
you.
Hammer as the prince? I don't know. Maybe. Probably,
You're like
actually.
Are you like a goofy guy kind of guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little goof.
I love a
A
little
little
goof.
silly.
Yeah.
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 Little goose action. Silly as goose. That's going to be a euphemism for something I don't know.
A little goose action.
If we ever get popular enough that we have a Reddit thread like dedicated to our podcast, and God, I hope we do.
God, I hope we do.
I hope people dissect that and like let me know all the horrible things that insinuates. When I say,
That would
quote,
be so fun.
goose action.
Goose action. You heard it here first. Unless you heard it somewhere else.
No, you know where I
Let
heard
us
it?
know.
A
Where?
Charles Dickens novel. Those things are rife with goose action.
Oh my God. I still don't know what that insinuates. But
I don't know. I like literal eating goose.
oh, Christmas Carol.
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah, I should.
This kid's played Eben in
Yeah.
how many productions? 3?
Three productions. Young Ebenezer Scrooge. 3 productions of Christmas Carol.
It's giving this man
But
warning about the dangers
To
of
be
greed.
fair, the only Charles Dickens book I've read is Tale of Two Cities.
Mm,
And there's no goose in that.
there's no goose in that.
There's no goose.
Only murder.
Only murder. Yes.
Thank you, Charles Dickens. This podcast had been brought to you by Charles Dickens, who I imagine would have hated this podcast had he been alive, but it doesn't matter
Probably.
because he's dead.
Rip.
Rip to Charles Dickens, you would have hated this podcast.
Okay, I think that concludes our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
guess we got to talk about what we're doing the next episode.
Yes.
It is my turn again. And
Hooray.
thrilled that you're excited.
I am.
Sad if you weren't. Mostly because, again, this is mostly for you. So we are going to be transitioning away from film. And I'm going to be introducing a piece of media that is near and dear to my heart, perhaps more than all others. And that
What is it?
is Taylor Swift's Red.
Ah! This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
Not a drill. It's a red alert, so to speak.
Red alert, red alert, red alert. Ah! Taylor's version?
Well, naturally, but we're gonna have to cover the original recording as well.
Yeah, we are.
So this is gonna be, I think, one of many Taylor Swift episodes, because I think
so.
Ideally we're going to cover all of her albums. But Red was definitely your entry point to becoming a Swiftie, and it is my most beloved album. So I was a Swiftie before this, but like Red really
locked you in, so to say.
Yeah, it put me in the air fryer, as it were.
As it were.
So yeah, I'm really excited to get to talk to you about Red, which is now an album that we both love.
Yes.
And just a small taste, the origin story of getting Ren to listen to Red was a plan that took several months.
It was a campaign.
It was, yes, a crusade.
A crusade. A slow, methodical.
I didn't sack the Middle East, but I did come away with the spoil of riches.
Hi, I'm the riches, it's me. Sorry, let me say that again. Hi, it's me.
I'm the riches, it's me. There we go. We got it.
Okay.
So yeah,
well,
next week is Red.
Next week is Red. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I love this album.
But thank you for sharing Mirror Mirror.
Yes,
with me.
you're
This is
so
wonderful.
welcome. I love this film.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming and listening to us, watching us.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube, I had a great time.
So did I.
Yeah.
If you want to keep the good times going, you can follow us on social media, which will be at Canonically Good Hang across relevant platforms.
Yes.
We're determining what those are, but it'll be in the description below, and
Yeah.
also in the description below, in whatever the equivalent is
Whatever
of
the
a
equivalent is.
podcast app.
I really don't know.
Neither do I at this point.
Or
And
you can reach out to us via email at canonicallygoodhang@gmail.com.
yeah, we're getting a website set up, which is going to be
Yeah, we are.
canonicallygoodhang.com.
Yes.
I think that hits.
Yeah, I think that hits
just about everything. Yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to sign off.
we got to come up with a cool sign off.
Does it have to be Lock In Bestie? Or, sorry, have to be? Should it?
Should it
I think
be?
it should be.
Lock in, bestie.
Lock In Bestie?
Lock
In Bestie. Okay, let's do that. Say,
Yeah.
Ren and Madie signing off.
Yeah.
Lock In Bestie.
Uh,
Okay.
This is Ren and Madie signing off. Lock in, bestie.